The CEO stands there, a mix of anger and disbelief swirling in his chest. His world has been turned upside down in an instant. The walls that once seemed so solid are now crumbling around him. The real test isn't about exposing the corruption, it's about deciding where he stands. With everything on the line, who will he become? The CEO stands frozen, the weight of the revelation sinking in. His father, the very person he admired, had been behind the shady deals all along. For a moment, he feels like everything he's worked for has been a lie. But then something inside him shifts. This isn't the end, it's a wake-up call. With newfound resolve, he turns to the manager and salesperson. "I'm not backing down. I'm going to fix this, no matter what it takes." He can't undo the past, but he can steer the future in a different direction. The betrayal stings, but it's also the catalyst for change. The CEO spends the next few weeks cleaning house, firing those who took advantage of customers, and restoring the dealership's values of honesty and integrity. Slowly, he rebuilds trust with the community, but the journey is far from easy. In the end, the CEO learns that true leadership isn't about perfection, it's about facing the truth and taking responsibility. The dealership may never be the same, but with hard work, it will thrive once more. Suddenly, the manager steps toward him, his voice low. "What are you doing here?" he asks, a flicker of suspicion in his eyes. The CEO freezes, his heart pounding. What does he say now? The manager's question hangs in the air, and for a split second, the CEO wonders if he's been caught. If his cover is blown, it could destroy everything. He takes a deep breath, trying to mask his panic. The next few moments could make or break his entire plan. The CEO swallows hard, trying to compose himself. The manager's question hangs in the air like a threat. He could lie, but his mind races, calculating the risks of being exposed. Before he can come up with an answer, the manager's expression changes. It's no longer just curiosity, it's suspicion, mixed with something darker. "You don't belong here," the manager says, his voice lower now, a warning laced in every word. The CEO's stomach turns. His worst fear is starting to come true. The manager knows something's off, but before he can react, a sharp voice cuts through the tension. "You're both in deep trouble now." It's the salesperson from earlier, the one who had been pushing the misleading deals. He steps out from behind the office door, an odd smirk playing at the corner of his lips. For a moment, the CEO feels the ground slip from beneath him. How did this guy know what was going on? The sales rep doesn't wait for a response. "I've been watching you," he continues. "All of you. And I've got more dirt on this place than you can imagine. You think you're the only one trying to expose the truth." His words hit like a punch, and the CEO's mind whirls. Could this be some sort of setup? What if the salesperson is playing both sides, manipulating the situation to his advantage? Before he can process, the manager leans in closer, his eyes narrowing. "I should have known," he mutters, glancing at the salesperson. The CEO's world spins as he tries to piece everything together. The manager's involvement in this, the salesperson's sudden knowledge. Was this all part of a larger plan? What exactly are they all hiding? The tension in the room grows unbearable, and the CEO realizes with a jolt that his undercover operation might have just uncovered something far worse than he imagined. The stakes have just been raised, and he doesn't know who he can trust anymore. The room falls silent as the CEO stands there, caught between the manager and the salesperson. The pieces of the puzzle are almost falling into place, but his mind refuses to make sense of it. Everything he's witnessed, the shady deals, the hidden fees, the false promises, are all pointing to a betrayal deeper than he ever imagined. His heart races as the salesperson smirks, sensing the CEO's confusion. "Still don't get it, do you?" the salesperson taunts. "It's not just the employees here. The entire company is built on lies. Your little honest dealership, it's all a front. I've been working here for years, and I know who's really pulling the strings." A chill runs down the CEO's spine. He tries to speak, but the manager steps in, his voice cold. We had no choice. The deals were slipping, the pressure came from higher up, and you were too busy playing hero to notice. We were just trying to survive. The CEO feels a knot tighten in his chest. This isn't just about a few rogue employees. This is about the very foundation of his company. The truth is darker than he ever imagined, but just when he thinks he's starting to understand, another bombshell drops. The salesperson leans in, lowering his voice. You think you're the only one trying to fix this place. The one pulling the strings isn't even here anymore. They've already moved on. You've been trying to save a sinking ship. For a moment, everything goes still. The CEO stares at the salesperson, confused. What are you talking about? He asks, his voice barely a whisper. The manager chuckles bitterly, a small smirk tugging at the corners of his mouth. You really don't know, do you? You're not the only one trying to find answers. The real owner, the one who set everything up, is your father. The words hit like a slap. The CEO's blood runs cold as the truth crashes over him. His father, his own father, was the mastermind behind the deals that now threaten to ruin everything he's worked for. The betrayal stings deeper than anything he's experienced. Just as he processes the shock, the salesperson turns to the manager with a knowing glance. And now we get to see what you're really made of. Are you going to do what it takes to fix this? Or are you going to let the ship sink with you on it? The CEO of one of the busiest car dealerships in town decides to go undercover to see what really happens when customers walk through the doors. Dressed in casual clothes, he blends in as just another buyer, eager to experience the service firsthand. As he browses the showroom, he listens carefully. How do his employees treat customers? Is the dealership living up to its reputation? But just as he's about to finalize a deal, something stops him cold. Two customers behind him are whispering, something about unfair pricing and shady sales tactics. His heart pounds. Are they talking about his dealership, his own employees? He shifts slightly, straining to hear more, but what they say next shakes him to his core. In that moment, his undercover mission turns into something much bigger. And what he does next, no one sees it coming. The CEO, now on edge, slowly turns around, trying to act casual. He can't quite make out everything the customers are saying, but the few words he catches are enough to make his stomach drop. They're talking about how one of the salespeople promised them a special deal, only to change the price once they were ready to sign. The more he listens, the more it sounds like his employees are taking advantage of unsuspecting buyers. He had no idea this kind of thing was happening under his nose. The dealership had always prided itself on honesty and customer service, but what if that wasn't the case anymore? He looks around, watching his employees interact with other customers, all while trying to remain invisible. Is this just a few bad apples, or has the whole culture shifted? His mission to get real answers just became more complicated and far more personal. The CEO takes a slow breath, trying to steady himself. He's never been in a position like this before. He watches as the two customers continue their conversation, now openly discussing their dissatisfaction. One of them, a middle-aged man, points to the finance office and mutters something about hidden fees. The other, a younger woman, shakes her head, expressing her disbelief that the dealership would stoop to this level. The CEO feels a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. There's a serious issue at play. He glances at the sales team across the showroom. To his surprise, they seem oblivious to the tension brewing just a few feet away. But he knows better. He's seen the way certain employees have acted in the past, pushing customers to sign before they fully understand what they're getting into. Could it be that the culture of greed has silently crept into his business? As he tries to make sense of it all, another problem arises. One of the salespeople, the same one who had been helping him earlier, approaches a new couple entering the dealership. The CEO watches as the conversation unfolds, and it becomes clear that the salesperson is doing the exact same thing they were accused of moments ago, offering misleading pricing. This time, the CEO isn't just an observer. He's part of the game. And now he's faced with an impossible decision. does he expose the truth, risking his entire company's reputation,